brothers of the KBH and all other visitors. We have been having lively discussions, very interesting comments, and I think everybody who is participating in these very, very important discussions. Notice on the boards it's all men, and females have no chance of participating, to be honest. So, let's get to the point here. Porn is the end of the world. It is the end of everything for you. It is the symbol of losing the game that we are thrust into right at this point. Is being interested in the sex act. The interest in the sex act itself will thrust you into another incarnation in the next life, possibly even an animal incarnation, or even put you into hell. And let's explain this in a perfectly logical, scientific way. Number one, you just have to listen to these premises. If you think these premises are probably true, then you have to accept my conclusion is probably true. Is it probably true that my body is, I'm controlling my fingers with some form of energy? And number two, does that energy have a valence? Does it have positivity, negativity, a magnetic attraction possibility? Three, could magnetic attraction be very specific? You know, not just north to south, but could the magnetic field that operates my body and moves my fingers and operates my mind, etc., could this be could it be attracted to other magnetic fields but not others? Experience could bear this out. Some people you think can be good friends, other people you hate before you even start talking to them. You feel repelled by some people, others attract you, and you're not north and they're not south. It's not that simple. So that would be a proof of that premise. Now, somebody who is watching porn interested magnetically in the incarnation? Yes, of course they are, because that's what sex is doing. And so from these premises we get the whole yogic and Buddhist interpretation of how somebody gets incarnated, because this magnetic field does not have to locate itself onto my body, and it can locate itself into other bodies as it wants. As I say, this is me, I think I am this body, but at some point at death, this I is going to come separated from my body. Everybody who's still here is going to say, hey, he's dead. And then that magnetic field is free to roam. And where will it roam if it is interested in porn? It'll roam to people's bedrooms. If you die and you're still interested in porn, you've lost the game, people. The game's up. You're going to roam over to people's bedrooms. Furthermore, you're going to say, wow, you're either more interested in watching the men do the act or the women doing the act. Guess what? That decides your gender. Your punishment for being interested in this disgusting thing is you get thrown in the hole for 9 months. And the hole is dark isolation, just like prison. People get thrown in the hole for 2 days, they go nuts, they can't stand it. Well, after 9 months, that erases most of your memory of your previous life. It's pure torture for you to be without most light or sound, to live in your own excrement, to breathe, some sort of liquid amniotic fluid. Then, if you come out alive, if you're not chopped up alive by an abortion, you come out alive, you've got, let's say, a 20% chance even of being genitally mutilated And all this stuff just starts spinning into motion, doesn't it? Because by the time you're 3 or 4 and you can actually start forming memories and consciously, say yes or no and accept things or not accept things and remember why things happen, it's already too late. There's 3 or 4 years before you get your memory. You're being filled with experiences that will change you for the rest of your life, and you won't be able to access this stuff. For example, circumcision. Most men who are cut are crimped, will not have access to this experience. They're going to think, I'm just normal, And being mutilated is normal. It's just like a mushroom. And it's a big, horrid dry pole, and the urethra's sticking out in the air. And that's normal. Being colorblind is normal. I can't see colors. And it's great. I never saw colors before. It's not important, is it? So, you can't miss what you never had. A huge system of nerves. 20 to 100,000 nerves are gone. And these men can't perceive this 20,000 to 100,000 nerves, what they are perceiving. And all the levels of color and sound and things, perception that are coming from that, completely gone. They're being sold to Oprah Winfrey to wipe on her face, or to what's her no face that got acid thrown in her face and had her face made of fibroblasts from baby penises. Katie Piper. That's where they are. You've been completely exploited, and you can't access that. You can't say, oh, that's why I'm perverted, or that's why, I can't feel pain, or in that region, the intense pain you would feel in a frenulum. Crimped guys cannot feel that, and they can easily become rapists or do weird things, perverted things, because there's no red light that says, oh, that's not natural, and that's not going to work. They've just basically ripped off the brakes from the car, and it can't stop. And so that's why you get thrust into this whole thing, and it's so easy to just go around again and again and again, because it's so hard to access logically what has happened to you and what is really forming your behavior. What's really forming your behavior right now is stuff that happened, the way you were born and how all that stuff happened. And then, if you're intelligent enough, you can begin to access that stuff. And if you're a yogi and you can meditate deep enough, you can start to access previous lives, stuff that other people think is just gone. They're like, well, somebody dropped this hard disk and all the information is gone. Well, no. Let's take that to an expert, right? And they've got tools and different things that can find out everything not everything, but a lot of stuff that was on that hard drive before, even after somebody pressed delete, or even after it's been smashed on the floor. And that's basically, the different levels of intelligence are coming from your level of yogic progress. And you realize, I think it's not super important where I was born. I think being born is kind of a gross process. It doesn't interest me a whole lot, and I don't want to identify myself with that too much. I feel like I've been around the world. I speak the different languages. I do these things. I'm gradually working towards sort of a human, or even let's just say a white or a European consciousness, and I don't want a consciousness that says, I am that thing that I was born with. It's important to know all those details for myself, because I want to work through that. And then if I'm going to work forward, I'm going to have to start forgetting that stuff. I'm going to need to forget the perversion that led me to get born, and then the perversions that are induced from the way we're treated in the society we get grown up in. And I'm going to have to work through that and say, hold it, I've got patience. I'm going to think this through. Is this really a noble or a good way to react to this? Like a lot of these pro-male, men's movement guys get into this bitching attitude against women, but they still want sex from women. They'll complain like, well, they won't give us sex as often as we want, or they use sex to bribe us or to control us and stuff. They complain about that stuff. I'm like, dude, if you don't get past that urge, you have to be controlled. There's no way out of it. If you meet, it's funny, if you put these guys in front of a woman that has no standards and doesn't use sex for any kind of control, she's just like, yeah, just bang it. It's alright. Anybody can if they want. Suddenly she's not sexy. She's not interesting anymore. So these guys are like gamblers. There has to be the option of losing. Otherwise they're not interested. And actually the odds of losing have to be really high. Otherwise they won't play this really dumb, rigged game. They're addicted to losing. There's a French philosopher say that. The gamblers, they're addicted to losing. They love losing. Let's not do that. We don't want to love losing. We want to love winning. We want to win the game, and the key to winning the game is losing the sex interest. Yeah, it's your road to Clint Eastwood coolness, It's your road to Swami Shivananda. Yeah, I don't need that. And that's what's going to make the difference when you get out of your body. Are you going to people's bedrooms and watching? Do you think that's interesting? And if the answer is no, congratulations, you're at least an angel. Yep. Sounds easy, but it's hard. And we're all here to support each other. Om to all the brothers. Thank you very much. God bless. It even puts you into hell. And let's explain this in a perfectly logical, scientific way. Number one, you just have to listen to these premises. If you think these premises are probably true, then you have to accept my conclusion is probably true. Is it probably true that my body I'm controlling my fingers with some form of energy? And number two, does that energy have a valence? Om brothers of the KBH and all other visitors, we have been having lively discussions, very interesting comments, and I thank everybody who is participating in these very, very important discussions. Notice on the boards it's all men, and females have no chance of participating, to be honest. So, let's get to the point here. Porn is the end of the world. Does it have positivity, negativity, a magnetic attraction possibility? 3. Could magnetic attraction be very specific? Not just north to south, but could the magnetic field that operates my body and moves my fingers and operates my mind, etc., could this be could it be attracted to other magnetic fields but not others? Experience could bear this out. Some people you think can be good friends, other people you hate before you even start talking to them. You feel repelled by some people, others attract you, and you're not north and they're not south. It's not that simple. So that would be a proof of that premise. Now, that is the end of everything for you. It is the symbol of losing the game that we are thrust into right at this point, is being interested in the sex act. The interest in the sex act itself will thrust you into another incarnation in the next life, possibly even an animal incarnation or